Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ghost Notes. This is where I'm going to do research on anything spooky, skeleton, send shiver up your spines energy. We are joined by Crossy.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, you would know Crossy from the horror movies we've watched. I have planned for today's Ghost Notes is that I have done research on the Amityville house. This is kind of near and dear to my heart because the Amityville horror movie was one of the first movies, like scary movies I ever watched. I remember that my mom had it on like DVD and I watched it a lot and it always freaked me out. I just thought we could do this. It'll be quite nostalgic and I'm very shocked by my research.
Yeah.
I'm very shocked. So what I'm going to do, because even though he hates things horror, he is very skeptic at the same time. Very skeptic. Like, I believe we have a ghost in our house because the lights always flicker and he stands...
It's definitely an electrical problem.
It's not. We were literally talking the other day to the ghost and it was like answering with...
That was spooky, but at the same time... Probably just electrical interference from all the devices going on in our house.
Okay, whatever, sure. It's actually really funny because I don't get as scared by these things and I'm definitely more open to the possibility as where he gets so scared by these things and he is very closed off to the possibility.
Yeah, I think just when the real world side of things, like, I don't know, it's just like... the little bips and noises in houses and stuff like that when they've got the little devices and stuff like that.
Yes.
It's just like electrical feedback. There's so many radio waves and electrical signals.
Yes, what do you like to call it? You like to call it pseudoscience.
So, yeah, it is a bit of pseudoscience.
But the interesting thing about you is that you're not atheist. You are actually agnostic. You aren't completely closed off to the idea of higher beings or... other beings and other powers at play.
No.
So I think you're the perfect person because Crossy is not going to go into this going, it's definitely not ghost. But he's not going to go into this being, it's definitely ghost. So I think this will be great. So I'm going to present my evidence and the jury will decide. Let's get into it. Ghost Notes. Amityville.
Ghost Notes.
Ghost Notes. Amityville.
First, this bulletin from the WOR newsroom. 6 members of one family have been found shot to death in their night clothes in their expensive home in Amityville, Long Island.
It's the most famous haunted house in the world.
Most notorious haunted house in the world.
So we are going to start with the murders and information on the murderer, family, and everyone's upbringing.
Okay.
This segment is the murders and Butch. Start off in this beautiful Amityville house. Night, everything goes askew. And that is because a man named Ronald, but we'll be mostly calling him Butch. He's known as Butch.
Not McDonald.
No Happy Meals in this one,
No.
unfortunately.
No kids' meals.
Well, kids are dead, so I don't know. No kids'
okay,
meals. No. Ronald had 2 parents, obviously. Usually how it works.
Usually. It usually requires 2 to tango.
2 brothers and 2 sisters. So it was a full house. It was a pretty full house. Big family.
That is a big family.
And one night, I guess Ronald had enough. We still don't know what happened, what was going on with... Something was going on with Ronald. Because he decides to get a rifle and shoot his father and his mother while they're sleeping. And then he goes in to his brother's room, kills both of his brothers, and then goes into his sister's room and kills both of his sisters. The thing about it is, the weirdest part for me is that they all were sleeping on their stomachs in the exact same position.
They just all were laying face down.
All were laying face down. And
Do you reckon he did that afterwards?
There is something to suggest in the conspiracy section.
Yeah.
That could be. There is a criminologist who said that there was evidence that the bodies had been moved in some way. But it wasn't recognized by the court.
Right, it wasn't in the trial.
No, we'll get into it later, but yeah, it wasn't whatever this criminologist found. It wasn't recognized by the court, but it could have made a difference. Sleeping face down. But on top of that, what really got the cops and the court and the jury even weirded out was the fact that no shots were heard. And at the time, I think like guns and rifles and all that were really, really loud. And just no shots.
What time frame was this? What?
It was in the middle of the night. But
No, as in like year.
It was 1974 this happened.
Okay, well, guns would have been not too bad back then, I don't think.
Okay. I'm being dramatic, sure. I think what they're trying to say is that there were a lot of family members to get off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Someone would still have heard the shots.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And no one did.
Right.
No one woke up. Everyone seemed to be asleep. Now, one person did say that they believed that the mother had woken up.
Right.
But there are so many different reports and so many different, accounts of things that I'm kind of going with what the main story of that is that no one woke up.
Yeah.
But there is someone out there I read that they believe that the mother woke up, and there are quite a lot of conspiracies on the older sister.
Right.
And we're going to get into that later. She is the reason that I believe maybe she had something to do. People believe that she had something to do with everyone being on their stomachs. So that's why I was like, yes, they could have been moved. And that is because they believe that his older sister was helping him. But that's a conspiracy we're going to get into later. Okay. Let's talk about Butch. I like to call him Butch the Bitch. Let's talk about him. So he had a hard time this one. Yeah, had a hard time this one. What serial killers don't, though? I guess Ted Bundy. You never hear a lot about Ted Bundy's past.
No.
But other than that, they've all had a hard... I bet who in this lifetime doesn't have a hard time, though, you know?
Yeah.
But...
everyone has their own struggles.
People were starting to notice behaviors. And for me, there were warning signs way before all of this happened.
Yeah?
Yes, absolutely. So, Ronald was a troubled guy. Just he was a little shithead. You know, he got in trouble.
Little rebel rouser.
A little rebel, And, I think there were a lot of warning signs for the family, but no one had ever really paid attention to them. Because Ronald had actually made threats previously to kill his parents due to the father's abuse. Yes.
Right, and no one paid attention to those threats?
No. But also at the same time, I do believe that the father was abusive.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like, it's kind of that thing of, like...
the threats wouldn't have been known if the father wasn't being abusive enough to
that's
do
true.
Something.
That's true. So, yeah, apparently the father was just having some trauma from this also. Doesn't make his actions okay. Ronald actually was starting to make threats that he was going to kill his family. Ronald also had a hard time with heroin. Ooh, right. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. That'll get you in the mood. That'll get you in the mood for some...
yeah, some family genocide.
Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah.
And then what I think got him in the mood more is that he didn't just have a little thing for heroin.
No.
He had a thing for acid, too.
Right. Great combination.
He loved his LSD. Acid and LSD are the same thing, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. One's just a cooler name.
Yes.
Yeah. So he loved his acid. And I just don't think that is the most ideal cocktail for pristine mental health.
No. It sounds like he had troubles anyway, so I don't think the cocktail...
We're adding into the psychosis. Adding into the psychosis.
Yeah, no, I don't think black tar heroin and some bloody...
Yeah, we're definitely adding into the psychosis.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Feeding the demons.
Absolutely. Yeah, the demons are full.
The demons are coming.
The demons are full, and they're about to take a big big fat shirt and shit in the mother toilet.
The demons are getting you.
Yeah. Mother also would say that Ronald needed psych help.
Right.
Like, the mother was aware of the weird behavior happening.
Yep.
And she would say, hold up.
So there's reports from the mother basically saying that.
Yeah, she would say that
my son needs psychiatric help. I can't speak as much. Psychiatric help.
Yeah, she would warn, like, he needs a psych eval. He needs a 5150. Yeah. So what I'm trying to get at is that there is history here of obvious, mental health stuff going on, etc., etc. Yeah, Ronald's not the freshest egg in the basket. He would run out and he would say, like, my family's dead, and they caught on pretty quickly that he had done it. You know what I mean? It was caught on pretty quickly. I mean, you don't have to put two and two together. You're the only one that lives.
Yeah, only one in the house. Yeah.
You don't have to put two and two together. So now we're gonna get into how the story kind of starts of it being a haunted house.
Yeah.
So Butch would plead insanity during his trial, right? And the thing about Butch is that he came up with 100 different stories of what happened that night. So you never really know what is true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about, someone who's changed their story here and there hoping that they'll get a better sentence. I mean, he'll be in jail in the story. Like, he
can't keep the story straight, essentially.
He passed away in 2021.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I mean, that whole time until he died, his story always changed.
Yeah.
But one of his stories was that he was possessed by demons to do this.
Right.
So I couldn't actually figure out if that was before or after the next family we're going to introduce into this household.
Right, okay.
So I couldn't really gauge every podcast that I watched,
the timeline changed.
Everything that I read, it would just say that that was a story he told, but not before or after the Lutz family moved in. Now, if he had said it before the Lutz family moved in, I might think there's some
truth. Yeah, okay. But we can't pinpoint the timeline of when he said the story.
The timeline does matter to me on this. Point where you can't even dissect what he is trying to tell you, right? Like, people, murderers will change their stories little bits here and there. And then you can still kind of dissect, and you can kind of figure out why they lied.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, they lied here because they didn't, want us to think this. Yeah. With Butch,
it wasn't that case.
No, the delusions of grandeur.
Yeah.
The whole story would change.
Yeah.
It would go from I'm insane to, my family was trying to kill me and I heard a plot of we've got to kill Ronald, to my sister and I wanted to be free of the abuse, and so my sister helped me.
And that's probably where that conspiracy started for the later track.
Well, I wouldn't get too far ahead with that, because the sister, there's some evidence that the sister was involved. So just wait on that front. Right. But the story always changed, and it always had you questioning what was the truth. What was the truth? Now, Ronald would be diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. Right. So I don't think he's necessarily completely... I don't want to say completely guilty, but Ronald did have problems.
Yeah, there was problems there, and there were untreated problems. Something was going to happen and break her sooner or later. Yeah. Especially if he still suffered abuse at the hand of his father.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you add the antisocial personality disorder on top.
You add mental health issues into that, then...
Yeah. So, he is guilty of doing something heinous, but he he was messed up. It wasn't something that I think that
drugs on top of that too.
Yeah, I don't think it was something that he got immense joy out of doing.
No,
I think he was just genuinely really fucked up in the head.
Yeah, he didn't know what he was doing probably in the moment.
Would be sentenced to life in prison, and he would be sentenced to 6 consecutive lifetime sentences, one for each person that he offed. So we're definitely not going to be seeing Ronald anytime soon, and not unfortunately but Ronald would end up passing away during the COVID pandemic in 2021. So after the tragedy of them passing away, another family would move in soon after. They are called the Lutz family. So the next segment, we're going to be talking about the Lutz family. The Lutz family would move in 1975. They would move in only 13 months after the massacre.
I wonder if they got the house for cheap.
So, they did. They did. They got the house for $88,000. Now, this was a really big house. Lots of bedrooms, beautiful house. I'll show you a photo of the house. I can't believe I made a Pinterest board for this. It's so embarrassing. I know someone's gonna be like, is she good? Like on Pinterest. I probably need to make it private, the board.
No, don't. Even better.
Okay. So this is the house.
That's a big house.
It's a really big house. And those windows
are $80K for that house.
Well, I literally put in my notes. George and Kathy paid $88,000 for this house. And with that price, I'd take a couple of ghosts if I had to.
Yeah.
Would. I would. Okay. Now, they claim that they did not know that this massacre had happened at the house.
How?
Do you believe that?
No. How do you not
There's
know?
absolutely no way. It was a huge story at the time.
Also, I think unless the law was after, but I'm pretty sure you have to disclose that to someone before they buy a house.
Laws might have been different back then, but I do find that quite hard to believe.
Yeah. You would have found it
I believe the way it sounds, it does sound like it had like that kind of energy of a small town, like everybody knew everyone's business type energy. Yeah. So I do find that difficult to believe.
100%. Unless they're out-of-towners and they,
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
I can see it more if they're out-of-towners. They didn't really
But it was
know.
like, it was on the news.
True. They could not watch the news. I just giving them the benefit of doubt.
So George was a Marine, and he didn't really believe in ghosts. He was like, I can handle anything. And
Ghost?
And at first, I was like, why do people always go, I'm a Marine, so I don't believe in these things? But I do know that, like, I think Marines are, like, one of the hardest... Like, it's one of the most intense fractions of the military.
Yeah, I think they've got hardcore training programs.
Yeah. Here is the part that grosses me out the most.
Yeah.
You're not going to believe me. You're not going to believe me when I say this. When they moved in, the house was still completely furnished. They kept all the furniture in the house and used the furniture in the house. And the beds. I believe the beds, too.
The beds...
I believe the beds. I could be wrong, but I believe that there was a lot of jokes online. I know that they kept the furniture, and there was a lot of, like, banter online about the beds, and I believe that they kept the beds.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No steam cleaner alive. No steam cleaner alive. No, absolutely not.
Soaked through.
Maybe the house wasn't even haunted. Maybe it was the beds.
Yeah, maybe they've got fucking blood poisoning from the old dirty...
So, George and Kathy, happy. They got a house for cheap. They're vibing really hard. Okay, yeah, so they had a dog, too.
Yeah. Not the dog.
Yeah, as soon as they move in, the dog dies. And it dies in a really horrific way.
Yeah, how?
It dies because it tried to jump a fence with a chain around its neck. On the chain lead. And this really freaked George out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Freak
like,
anyone
my
out.
dog has never displayed this type of behavior before.
Never wanted to get away like this.
Yeah, yeah. So he brings a priest in because other things start to happen.
Right.
And it was like banging on the walls. It was like, at one point they said that green slime was coming out of the walls. And
Okay.
I found that really Ghostbusteries for my taste.
Yeah. Like fluorescent green slime or like
I don't know.
moldy green slime, because I could see it also being like an old sewage pipe leak.
I don't know. All I know is I don't believe that.
Yeah, that one's a bit hard
it's
to
a bit
believe.
too goosebumps for my taste.
It's a bit too ooh.
So the priest comes in.
Yep.
It's really funny to me because it literally takes George about 1 week in this house before he's no longer a skeptic.
Before he's not a big tough marine wanting to
Absolutely.
fight the ghosts off.
Absolutely.
Uh-oh, my dog's hard on himself. Better bring in a
It's so
priest.
funny to me because those type of people are the quickest to switch up on you.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
100 you're about to switch up. No. But yeah, they are the absolute quickest to switch up on you. He switched up fast for my taste.
That was quick, a week.
Yeah. Like a week. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know the exact time frame.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a week.
Yeah.
So
Too quick.
they would bring a priest in.
Mm.
And the priest would start saying, the chant, the priesterly thing, the godly stuff,
Yeah.
whatever. And apparently he got boils on his hands. His palms would start to burn, and there would be like this unidentified, voice yelling, "Get out, get out."
Right, so the priest has got burning hands from being
Burning
in the house.
hands. But, that all sounds a bit goofy.
Is it the incense and the like?
No,
oil
I don't
they're
think they were doing incense, but it all sounds a bit goofy to me. And I had this really interesting, while I was doing my research, I came across this interesting concept of like religious psychosis almost, of where
Right.
you believe something so much that it comes true.
Yeah.
Right? So that could be a possibility also.
That sounds like it could be what's happening.
Yeah. So I've put that in my conspiracy thing.
Body
but
can do weird things to itself when it believes something's
absolutely.
happening on.
Yeah. So yeah, apparently like the priest would go home and his body would be like covered in boils and he'd be in pain, and basically he couldn't do much to help them because he was being attacked or
Yeah,
whatever,
assaulted by the
demons. Do you reckon the demons know that priest probably touched little boys?
They were good demons.
Yeah.
They're like,
They were like, jail.
to jail.
Can't touch anyone if I burn your fucking hands off.
You won't be able to touch shit now.
Yeah, exactly. She would have experiences of where she felt like someone was embracing her from behind, and she felt that it was warm and it was kind.
Right.
I think Kathy was down bad. Embracing you from behind and you liked it?
I think the demon was trying a different type of an assault, and
I don't think it was assault because Kathy loved it. Kathy was
that's
down.
what I was about to say. It didn't, and then it ended up being appreciated, reciprocated.
Ended up being something it wasn't supposed to be. He was like, all right, damn.
Demon's like, I'm down.
I was just filling up the booty, but if you want to take it further, Mama, we can.
What was the husband's name? Gregory?
George. Yeah.
George just wasn't filling up.
No, the love tank was empty.
The love tank was empty.
The love tank has to be empty if you feel. The love tank has to be empty if we're feeling random embraces from behind and liking it.
If you're feeling the connection from more of the demon than your husband's.
A comforting presence, and she wasn't really scared when she experienced this. Did you have something to say? Because you had a little giggle on your face.
I was going to say when the demon feels more comforting than your husband.
Yeah, well, she is dating a Marine.
Yeah, that must be some shitty relationship.
It's so funny. There are certain military men that I have seen and known, and they are great partners. They're very loving, very warm, very caring. Very devoted. And sexy in that uniform. Sexy in the uniform. Love a man in uniform. I hate that about myself. Love a man in uniform.
It's a weakness.
Yeah, I don't know what I hate it about myself. Then there's the other military men. The ones that hate their life because they married and had children way too early, so they could get that house.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe George is
in the latter category,
veering towards the latter. Absolutely, because we will figure out more about George later on.
Really?
Yeah, we will. All right, so Kathy's kind of having positive experiences. George is freaking the fuck out, and the priest has been maimed.
I mean, I would be freaking the fuck out too if he was taking my woman.
Okay, so the kids will start to get imaginary friends and really like them, but one of the imaginary friends is named
Ronald. Could you imagine?
Could you imagine? No. The girl calls her Piggy.
Right.
Because it's a pig with red eyes. Right. Fucked up. Also, is a pig
demonic.
supposed to scare me? No, really? You reckon?
Well, yeah, I think pigs are pretty common iconography in Satan.
Really?
Satanism, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Demon sort of.
Oh, wow. See, I was like thinking of like Three Little Pigs.
No, I think like demons and hogs and stuff like that. Like pigs and hogs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so yeah, she was seeing stuff like that. She had imaginary friends. Yeah, it was pretty creepy. But also it's really hard with kids because, you know, imaginary friends are normal within that age bracket.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, it's really weird because while all these horrible things are going on, the wife and the children, they are having positive experiences with the dead. Yeah. So, interesting.
It is interesting.
Here is the most fucked up thing. Here is the thing that brought chills to my bones.
Yeah.
The children start to sleep all on their stomachs.
Really, face down.
Face down.
Just how they were.
Just how the crime scene photos showed.
Wow. Why? Do they explain why?
Well, I'm sorry, we're not demonologists. No one explained why. We're not demonologists.
True.
You know? That's just, that's what they said. Like, obviously, I haven't seen, like, proof of that. And obviously, sleeping on your stomach, I must be possessed. I would be the devil himself if sleeping on your stomach was like a...
My brother only sleeps on his stomach.
I only sleep on my stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drives you crazy because you want to take up all the bed.
I'm a side sleeper.
You're a side sleeper.
And then on my back where I starfish.
Oh, he's such a starfisher. It's like, oh, get fucked. I just think people who starfish are greedy. Like, they're greedy in nature, you know?
I can't help my body sore.
No, they're greedy in nature.
After long days, my body's sore and I need a starfish on the bed.
Your IT accountant job.
Accountant. Offended.
You know what I mean? And the banging... and the things flying off shelves, all of those things will continue.
Yeah.
So, they have been in the house for only, guess how long they've been in the house for?
What, like a couple of months at this point?
No, they've only been in the house for 28 days.
Not even a month.
Not even a month. And one night, something will happen that they said that they will never ever talk about. And they will not even pack their things. They will pack the kids in the car and they will go.
Right.
Never to return. They've never gone back to the house. Not for their things, for nothing.
Nothing. No personal
And still
item.
to this day, they will not say what happened that night to get them to grab their kids and while they're in their PJs and just get the fuck out of Dodge.
There must be something real spooky if they're not willing to talk about it.
I mean, honestly, like, look, I'm going to have a lot of conflicting factors coming up on my other side, you know? But I also do think that in and of itself is very, like...
Telling?
Very telling.
Something had to happen.
Something have had to happen. Absolutely. Only 28 days?
Yeah, but I would really want to know what happened.
Yeah, no. To this day, they never, ever said what had happened. Throughout the book sales, throughout the movie, no one actually said what happened.
See, this is how skeptics keep skepticing.
Well, let's get into the investigations. Now we're going to get into Ed and Lorraine Warren. I'm sure you've heard of them. I know you've seen me watch them. So Ed and Lorraine Warren were demonologists, and they were people that would go and inspect people's houses for hauntings. I'm so sorry if you hear our cats. So Ed and Lorraine are controversial figures in and of themselves. And I will do a video on that later for us. I think that'll be really fun. But I do have to say that they very much benefited. They very much benefited.
You saying it right? Benefited
from tragedy.
Yeah.
They are not the greatest people in the world.
Right.
Absolutely not. You need to keep that in mind.
So are they the ones that have sold the story and everything like this about it all?
Yes. So the thing about Ed and Lorraine Warren is that they wouldn't charge people to come and help them within their home. Instead of them paying, they would make you sign away rights to what has happened inside your house.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how they kind of got people.
Right. So they rented it out, essentially.
Well, that would be it. People would need help. They would bring them over, and they would be like, don't worry, you don't have to pay us anything. We just need you...
to tell us the stories about living in this house.
Your story is our story. We can control the narrative however we want to.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's a powerful contract.
Yeah.
Then you could twist it to your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they call in Ed and Lorraine Warren. And when they decided to go and have a look at the Amityville house, George wouldn't go with them. He met them at like a cafe across the road.
Right.
He wouldn't go back to the house, and he never did. He never went back to the house. And I thought that was quite
telling.
Yeah. Like it was like he's staying true to his word.
Yeah.
Like he does seem scared.
Yeah.
So Ed and Lorraine Warren would go in there, and while Ed is he'll be like, I'm a demonologist and I study this stuff. He will not be like, I'm a medium, as where his wife is a medium.
Right.
And
they'll
so
tread on the toes of the wife.
I reckon so, but also I think I do think there was a little bit of an aspect of she thought she was a little bit of a medium. Even though she knows they were scamming people. I think she thought she was a little bit.
You gotta have a little bit of self-belief in that.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with that.
To like sell it completely,
absolutely.
You've gotta believe your own bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Walk in the house. And I was like, whatever. They both said that they can feel the death.
We can feel the death in the air.
That's what my last boyfriend said to me when he slipped it in. It feels dead.
Never once said that.
Feels dead, dry, gross. Lorraine would do something that I watch a lot of medium shows. And I feel like a lot of like the real mediums I watch are the ones who are like, don't be doing seances, bitches. Lorraine's the opposite. Lorraine said, let's do a seance.
See, that's the least believable medium.
Yeah. What do you mean do a seance, bitch? You're supposed to be able to just fucking see them.
That's the most made up one. Like, so, from what I know, all medium work is kind of crowd work, and essentially.
You reckon?
Yeah, so they say the right cues to and someone eventually responds, and...
No, I don't like that. I don't like that. No. I kind of like watching mediums just go into a house by themselves and kind of say what's happening.
Yeah, so even then, I feel like they're observing the room and
Yeah, true.
Picking up on, like, something in the room and then, like, making up a story almost, or, like, a connection to something.
Yeah. Well, Lorraine said, everyone, sleepover. And... yeah, she did a seance, and I'll tell you what happened during that seance. She closed her eyes and reached out to the beyond. She would say that there is evil from the bowels of the earth. She would say that there are demons and ghosts, and that the evil has been here for a long time, long before Butch ever committed these atrocities.
Demons, where are you?
She's like, yo... There's demons here. Also, how fucking vague.
Yeah.
How fucking vague. Evil from bowels of the earth.
This is just straight, like...
No, what's the demon's name?
Yeah, what's the demon's name?
Why are they mad?
What's the postal code? Where's it from? You know?
The postal code's 666. But yeah, no, it was just all a big a bit vague for my taste. After the investigation, a photo that has stood the test of times and still is one of the most famous photos in history when it comes to the supernatural will come into fruition. And that photo is when Lorraine and Ed were, doing their investigation. They had these cameras that would go off every 5 minutes. Right. Now, this is what made it a little bit believable for me, right? Is that the photo has a little boy in the corner. I'll show you the photo.
Yeah, let me see the photo.
This is the photo that will be have been taken.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see eyes there. I can see a boy.
Now, the reason that makes it a little bit, I'll leave this here with you. The reason it's a little bit believable for me, just a little bit, is because this photo wouldn't come into fruition until years later. Hundreds of thousands of photos. Yeah. And they were left in boxes. Like, they never came across this photo until someone took interest in the case and ended up going through all of the photos and found this photo.
Question: how long? What?
A few years, 2 years, okay, I believe. It was a few years in between. Okay. Yes.
Because I was going to say, if it was in the age of digital technology, then I could see this being faked.
No, this is a very famous, very prolific photo. Yeah. So, but also at the same time, it's really hard because while people are like, it's a little boy, for me, it looks like someone who was a part of the investigation who was just on their knees checking the camera, that the camera was working.
I can actually see that, especially with older cameras.
Because the face, while they're like, oh, it's a little boy, the face actually doesn't look little boy to me. It looks like just a 20-year-old on their knees. And people will also say that the eyes were glowing, but that has to be the camera.
Yeah, well, in older cameras, your eyes used to go red in certain lights and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Hell, it could have even been some sort of cat or animal that got in, and it's the glowy eyes of that.
I think that's a bit of a stretch to say that grown person right there is a cat. That was a boy.
A bit of a stretch.
That is absolutely a boy.
It did have facial features.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a person. I think, see, now this is what annoys me about you skeptics. That's a cat? What fucking cats are you adopting?
Meow.
Okay, guys, now we are going to go into conspiracies. And I think this will be Andrew's favorite part.
It will be.
Little things that just seem a little bit off or could change the trajectory of the story. And yeah, let's get into some conspiracies about the Amityville horror that I found online, that I found interesting and a little bit revolutionary. So Butch, I told you Butch tells a lot of stories, right? And his stories always change. Yeah. But there's always one consistent story throughout it all.
Yeah.
That Dawn, his older sister, was involved and helped him.
Right, so that stayed consistent.
Pretty consistent. It came up more. It was a consistent factor more than all the other stories were.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? He would explain different ways that they went about it, different ways that they'd done it, but he never chose any of the other siblings. It was always Dawn who helped him. So if there wasn't an
accomplice, it was definitely Dawn.
It was definitely Dawn. Yeah. But this is where it gets more realistic that Dawn was involved. Is that it is believed, allegedly, that the family had ties to the mafia.
Right.
This made it to where there was a DEA agent staying out in front of their house.
Right. So that'll be in surveillance.
The DEA agent would say that night he was on patrol to, scout them out. And that he did see Dawn with a gun.
Right.
He saw Dawn come out with a gun. And I guess maybe since it was the 70s, maybe you could just carry your gun out in the yard and it not be wholly suspicious. But after it happened, he was like, no, Dawn was out there with a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found that very interesting.
Shit.
There was also, before the murders had even taken place, there were rumors that him and Dawn were too close.
Dawn was close to Butch.
That Dawn, so Ronald Butch,
yeah,
was too close to Dawn,
right.
his younger sister.
Yeah.
And that they either relied on each other throughout the abuse that they were suffering at the hands of the father, or they got a bit of Game of Thrones with it.
Ooh, okay.
That there was like an incestuous nature to their relationship.
Right.
Problem with that is that she was quite young.
Yeah.
She was still a teenager at the time.
Yeah.
So really, if anything incestual happened, it wouldn't have been consensual in any way. You know what I mean? Like, she can't consent in any way. The bodies would be like, there was evidence that the bodies were moved to all be on their stomachs.
Yeah, you were saying that before. That looks like, you know.
There was evidence, but it wasn't recognized by the court. So it puts me in is there a reason it wasn't recognized?
Yeah, why wasn't it recognized by the court?
As in, like, was the criminologist just not good at her job? Was there, like, some you know...
Wasn't enough evidence...
to support that.
It was moved,
But I do believe that maybe Dawn was involved in some way, because they would also say that Dawn had evidence on her that she was holding a gun that night.
Right.
Like residue.
Yeah, the ballistic residue.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So maybe she killed some of them and then got him to kill her, Butch to kill her in the same way, and then maybe Butch was meant to do the same thing.
I don't believe... That's an interesting theory I haven't heard yet, that it was just supposed to be all holy suicide. I don't believe that. I believe that it was supposed to be... If John was involved, I believe it was supposed to be like a runaway together type energy, and then he was like, and killed her too. Yeah. Hey, and we are on to what the action. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
A series of conflicting stories. This is where things get a little bit, what actually happened that night? And why is everyone lying? So let's get into it. So you remember that priest?
Yes.
The priest with the boils on his hands?
Yes.
Yeah.
Still don't believe that.
Yeah. He would later say he never entered the house.
Really?
Yes. He would later admit that he never even entered the Amityville home.
So it was a lie, the blisters and the...
It would have to be.
Yeah, if he never entered the home, there
he
would be
never
no reason
entered the
for him
home
to have the blisters or the...
How insane is that?
Crazy. Why would you make something like that up?
So one of the stories the Lutz told was that day in their home, it was snowing, right? And that when they went outside, there were like these big demonic. There were these big demonic hoof prints.
Right.
Walking up to their house.
But
someone, like the scary, probably ram, classic. Yeah. Someone was doing their research and years later figured out that it wasn't snowing that day in their town.
Right, like the meteorological.
It wasn't snowing that day. But Ed Warren would conflict this story and say that weathermen aren't always right, and that snow could have fell around their house and not have fallen on the other side of the town.
Yeah, that it would have been reported though that the snow actually fell after the snow fell.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, like even if the report, like the original findings were false or like not right, and it did snow that day, they would have reported it on after the day and fixed the report.
Yeah. I agree with you. I believe the report 110%. Yeah. This is where it gets kind of funny. New family moves in. And they did a documentary conflicting everything they've said about the house.
Really?
They were annoyed. They didn't want their home to be seemed like some weird haunted place to go to. They were like, this is a beautiful house.
Stop it. We want to live in a normal house. This is not some spooky place you can just come visit at any time.
Absolutely. And they said that, they lived there for years. They lived there forever. And they never once had a weird experience there. And they even had one of the girls who passed away from the massacre. They had one of her friends come over because there was this whole thing about there's a red room that's really scary within the house. And a friend came over to the house during the documentary and said that the red room was a place they used to play and love. And then she went in the red room and said, see, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really, that's like, quite funny.
Sweet almost. Like.
Yeah. I think she was kind of like, we have really good memories here.
Yeah.
I never thought it was a bad place.
Yeah.
We all know that Amityville got really popular due to the book that was published about, you know, the tellings of what had happened. And I know the reason it got so popular and was, you know, and it was so successful was due to this book, right? And I think a big reason for that is because right under the title it says a true story in bold words, and everyone wants to read a true horror story.
Absolutely. Everyone has a little bit of themselves that wants to believe.
I have the morbid curiosity, even if there wasn't ghost involved.
You're curious.
The morbid curiosity of it all.
That's why people love serial killer documentaries.
In every interview, in any interview he was asked, is it real? He would give vague answers. He would never definitively said what I said was truth.
Okay.
He would never give a yes or a no answer. And he would end up passing away due to heart failure issues pretty soon. Like, I think like maybe like 5 to 10 years. I know it was like he died in the 80s, essentially. And yeah, he would have died never saying, yes, this is completely true. But
never admitted to it.
But at one point, Ronald, aka Butch, would say that it was all made up, that he was never ever possessed by demons, that the house was totally fine, and he just did what he did.
Right.
Yeah.
So like years later, when he was in a bit more of a healthy state of mind after being in prison.
No, I don't think he was ever in a healthy state of mind, because I think he ended up telling different stories after that also.
Right.
But at one point he did say, they're all just tricking you. It's all just a lie.
Right.
Yeah. Now, let's go to what does the internet say? So I came across, I shit you not, I looked it up. Like, I was just looking up Amityville podcasts, people's opinions. I came across Jack Osborne.
Yeah.
He has a paranormal podcast.
Right.
Yeah. And he had a medium that I actually know on there. It's Sydney Kaza. And she's like awesome. She's the real deal. I personally believe she's the real deal. And she would say on the podcast that she personally doesn't believe the house was haunted beforehand. She believes that the house most likely had some type of residual energy after the massacre.
Bit of a vibe.
Yeah. And that's what the Lutz experienced. She definitely doesn't believe these people would just leave the house after 28 days. Just pack up and leave. But she also firmly stood by the fact that she believes that Butch was just a mentally ill person on drugs. And that anything that the Lutz experienced was because of after Butch. Not Butch was possessed and killed his family. It was definitely something horrible took place in this house, and it's basically soaked up like a sponge in the land.
Yeah.
And she does believe that the Lutzes experienced something, but after they hit stardom, they probably did allow things to be heightened or stretched. But she definitely doesn't believe there was something there before. She believes that she doesn't necessarily believe Butch, but she believes the Lutzes to a certain extent. And I found that is the most reasonable explanation, because I found it really odd the whole time I was watching that everyone was saying the reason Butch killed was because of the demons. But when I went into this at first, I thought the reason that the Lutz were getting haunted was because of Butch's actions. But it's actually like the story is this person did this awful thing because of the demons here, and now it's going to happen to the next family. But I don't think, I never even thought of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Comes to the internet, I thought it'd be fun to have my mom call in And so my mom sent us a nice little voice memo on what she thinks. My mom is a believer. She's had experiences herself. I think she's a little bit open, a little bit sensitive, because I've never experienced someone who's experienced such creepy shit and not freaked out about it. Like, she does not freak out about it. But she's very reasonable. Like, she's not out here seeing ghosts everywhere. So without ado, let's hear what Mama Bear has to say on Amityville, because she was alive when a lot of this was going on, you know?
Occurred 3 years and 1 day after I was born. Creepy. Anyway. So, I absolutely believe it. And I believe all things like that. I believe that demons and evil spirits walk the face of this earth and look like regular people. They can take any form that they want. Am I scared of them? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not scared. But yeah, absolutely believe it. Why all of a sudden did this kid just decide to fucking kill his entire family? Just out of nowhere, just entire family. And do I believe that it's possible that demons were telling him to do it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Could that be chalked up to schizophrenia? Possibly. But, I don't know. I believe it. I absolutely do. And also, that happened in November, and then December of 1975, the Lutz family moved in, and they were only there for 28 days. They got this big ass house.
I always thought she made a good point
in Amityville, Long Island, New York. And I mean, they got it for nothing. And then you're telling me that they were bullshitting, that everything they said was bullshit, that they left this beautiful, grand, well, it was beautiful to them, this huge house that they got for such a good price with their big family on the water. And they just decided it was all bullshit, that they just left after 28 days because, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I believe that something is going on in that house. And it's not good. And I believe the longer that people stay there or have stayed there, the more that whatever it is in that house will expose itself to whoever's there. Fact of the matter is, this is my opinion, stay the fuck out of that house. They need to tear it down. There was rumors that they tore it down, but they haven't.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope that helps. Love you.
So that is my mother's opinion on the Amityville house. And anyone in the comments who's a skeptic trying to come after her, you could literally put a gun to my mom's head. She's not going to change her opinion on something. She's definitely
not something like that she's experienced.
No, she's definitely that type of person. She's not going to change her opinion because you're in the comments going, So good luck with that one. Another what the internet said is, they believe that the Lutz family did know what was going on, but they went and they bought the house planning to plan all of this, planning to get a cash grab out of it. And I find that so hard to believe. There's no freaking way. How would you know that would work? How would you know?
Yeah.
How would you know? Also, you're still left homeless. It's not like they stayed and they were because a lot of people will stay and have ghost tours and, seances and the paid stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they, what were we about to say?
I reckon even though the house was so cheap, maybe they were in financial debt and they had to leave because of it.
That brings me into my exact next conspiracy. You've been clocking my net. You know my next notes before I even say them.
100%.
Super annoying. So, another Redditor rumors that he was extremely in debt. That George was so in debt and that he bought this house and he could not pay for it. And he believed telling this story and really sticking with it would get him out of whatever trouble he got himself into. My problem with that is, how can you be behind on a mortgage where you've only lived in the house for 28 days?
Maybe he couldn't afford the house in the first place, but it was the cheapest thing he can get to move his family in, so they're not homeless.
You reckon?
Potentially, and then the fact...
28 days. I feel like we haven't even tried at that point.
Well, 28 days is actually, I think, the rent calendar month type thing
yes.
for the mortgage would have been due. So I reckon he couldn't pay that. So, alright, we can use this spooky, stories that are circulating at the moment about the house, run away, sell the stories, buy a new house, and then it's more believable because we're out of the house and ran away.
It's such a stretch, though, isn't it?
It is a little bit of a stretch.
It's such a stretch. It's like mozzarella cheese melted. It's like you're really...
Where did they move to afterwards? Because maybe they just had a reason to move to that location. And
I
then
don't
they
know
used it.
where they moved to afterwards, to be completely honest. And I've done so much research that I'm not willing to look that up for you.
That's fair.
Redditor, the one that lived 5 minutes away from the house, says that the house said that the infamous Hans Halser, who was a medium, visited and said that Butch was possessed by a war Indian chief. And if that doesn't scream racism, I don't know what does.
The classic, there's an Indian burial ground.
Let's demonize Native American people.
Wrong.
But the poster of this Reddit said that there is no native burial ground anywhere near that town.
Of course not. That's always the go-to medium sort of spiritual person's excuse around those types of areas. It's like, yeah.
With all that said, that is my ghost notes on Amityville, the horror house. And I know it might have been a little bit messy, but I'm going to get better as I go. I didn't have a lot of answers to your questions. I was like, that's not in my fucking notepad, honey. That's
I'm
not
a
in
curious
my notepad. So why don't you tell me, Crossy, what do you think happened? And do you believe that this is a cash grab hoax? Or do you believe that the Defo, I don't know how to say their last name. I'm so bad at it. But do you believe that Butch's family and the Lutz family experienced some type of paranormal event?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Even the Lutz family?
Yeah, even the Lutz family.
No, even
after
I thought
everything.
really?
No, actually, after everything I've heard, the only sort of semi-believable thing was that photo, and photos can be doctored.
The semi-believable thing for me was that green slime coming out of the walls.
Really? I think that was the least realistic thing.
I know, I'm joking.
But yeah, no.
Knowing you probably would have licked that green slime hoping it was Mountain Dew.
If it was Nero-coloured enough, fluorocarbon. But no, I reckon this Ronald Butch had a psychotic break and killed his family, and the stories, I think, potentially of the sister being involved probably aren't true if everything else he said isn't true. And
but what about the Lutz family and the theory that the Lutz family were just, receiving residual energy of what the tragedy that occurred there?
I think that helps sell a story. I think that helps.
It's also really disgusting if that is the case, though, because then you're profiting off of these poor people's tragedy.
Yeah, but that happens all the time. A lot of people profit off tragedy.
Well, if this gets monetized,
we will be too.
Yeah, so you don't believe it. Hoax. Big stamp.
Hoax.
Well, thank you so much for
Let's
listening.
file away this ghost file.
Yeah, we'll file it away. Thank you for following this journey with me.
Anytime.
Thank you. And yeah, let's hope and pray we never move into a haunted house.
No, although this house sometimes. I'm joking. It's electrical fault.
Because the day that you say a house is haunted is the day I'm running down the street naked. You say it while I'm in the you say it while I'm in the shower. I'm not even getting dressed.
You're gone.
Yeah, soaps in the crack are running down the street.
Bubbles on the road.
My theory is that maybe the Lutz did experience something. I think staying in a house within 28 days is a very short amount of time. I find it very hard to believe that if they didn't have the money, they would just go buy that house. And yeah, I just believe that the Lutz experienced something, but also Lorraine Warren was doing seances also. So they could have also been experiencing something from the investigations themselves. I definitely believe Butch was just a very ill and awful human being. I do believe that Dawn was involved in some way. I actually do.
Right.
There is evidence.
I just still find it hard to believe.
I find it hard to believe, but there is evidence.
Those bodies were definitely rolled, I reckon.
110%.
Whether that was just Ronald by himself.
Okay, but if the bodies were rolled that way onto their stomachs, then the Lutzes, I'm a little bit wary of them because they started to say that the children
slept on their stomachs. But children do sleep on their stomachs a lot. Plus,
everyone sleeps on their fucking stomachs.
It's to sell the story.
So my thing is, the Lutz may have some truth behind their stories. I believe that unfortunately Butch was just an ill and awful human being. And at the end of the day, it made a great movie. It did profit off tragedy, which kind of sucks. Guys, thank you so much for watching Ghost Notes. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed.
And make sure to comment.
And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.